How do you there, guys? Welcome back to Edgar TV, and this one is going to be interesting. I told you not too long ago, as we're getting into the back end of this year, we are going to see a lot of big, interesting news and changes as we get to TV season. And this one is announced by the WDF, the World Darts Federation, the organisation that was behind the BDO, but now the BDO no longer exists. It is the WDF. They will be running Lakeside, which is one of the oldest running tournaments in the world. But we've just had news here on the WDF website that broke yesterday, talking about players that are intending to play in both. Now, in the past, we've seen this rule come into play where you've not been allowed to play both World Championships. But this now has been extended. Male and female, and including youth players. Now, in the past, we've had the situation where you've not been able to play in both events, but it's not been extended to the female and the male game, to the youth game, sorry. Now we're seeing that. Now, the last time we saw Lakeside, this was a couple of years ago, it happened after Q School, and the PDC actually allowed the players that got their tour cards to play in Lakeside. That benefited people like Cameron Menzies, Connor Scott, for example. Couple of players who was able to then go play at Lakeside whilst holding a PDC tour card. They did say, though, at that time it was a one-off, and it was to honour the commitment that those players had made doing that tour and not being able to because they moved Lakeside. They've moved Lakeside again now, and Lakeside now happens like a week before Ali Pali. So, to be honest with you, I can actually really understand the reasoning behind this, because it's kind of date clashing, and it's kind of getting involved with that sort of time of year that the PDC have sort of already generated for that window with darts. So I can kind of see it from that point of view. And also, I think this comes from another point of view as well. We've got to look at this from a sort of a promotional stance. Let's say Luke Littler, for example, goes to Lakeside and doesn't win that event. Does that then ruin his sort of promotional appeal? Did it make it harder to promote him? The one which really comes to mind here for me is Vince McMahon of the WWE. I remember Mark Henry, when he was wrestling there, he wanted to go take part again in the World's Strongest Man competition. And Vince McMahon said, just remember, there is no place in the WWE for the world's second strongest man. Basically meaning, if you go take part in this event, you have to win it or you're out of a job, because I can't promote the second strongest man. And is that maybe a little bit of a factor potentially here in this? Speculation. That's all we're doing here. Just sort of putting things forward. This is going to affect a few players. It's going to affect a few players that we know of already. One, Luke Littler. Luke Littler's already made his decision. He is going to Ali Pali. And to be honest with you, I can't blame him. Let's look at what Lakeside currently is. Lakeside has a date, and it's selling tickets, and it sold more tickets already this year than it did last year, or last time it ran. So well done to the WDF. However, zero announcement of prize fund. The players do not know what they are playing for, other than the trophy. Zero announcement of broadcaster, and as we're getting closer, the likelihood of a broadcaster is getting slimmer and slimmer. And to be honest with you, I'm looking at these broadcast schedules, I don't know what channel this potentially could be on. It could just become a streamed event this year. We've had the Masters cancelled for this year. So at the moment, we can't be too reliant on the WDF putting on some form of big world championship. And when Luke Littler's got the opportunity to go and have a guaranteed £7,500 just for turning up and playing his game, being on Sky Sports, on a primetime slot, in the biggest event in the world for viewing figures, for prize money, it's quite a hard carrot to turn down. Now, had there been a broadcaster, had there been prize funds announced, I would be straight on this and saying, Luke Littler, what are you doing? Because you've got an opportunity here. Luke Littler would win Lakeside. Who's going to beat him? When you look at this now and you say Luke Littler is pulled out of Lakeside, every player who's playing at Lakeside threw a party last night when they saw that announcement Luke Littler's not going to be there. He would have won it. He would have been the youngest player to win that World Championship, and that title and trophy would have carried through the rest of his life. I think he'll do well at Ali Pali, he'll win games. He's not going to win the World Championship. That title would carry him for the rest of their life. Those wins will soon be forgotten, and that money will soon be spent, because money comes and goes, but those sort of titles stay. So I kind of agree with what he's doing, and this one is over to the WDF. You've kind of pushed his hand there with that one. Beau Greaves, another player who's confirmed to play at Ali Pali if she wants to. Now, Beau's a completely different entity. When we look at Beau Greaves and we look at what she's done, she's played the Women's Tour, absolutely. She's been doing that, she's been dominating that. However, she's shown no intention yet of going to a Q school, playing any mixed gender sort of events, such as the Development Tour, which she'd be entitled to, or has mentioned nothing about potentially using the Challenge Tour system either. Now, we look at what Beau's done over the years. She's been very supportive of that WDF system and picking up titles. Let's go back to what I said about Luke Littler. Money is spent. Titles stay forever. She is building one heck of a legacy of titles, even at her young age at the moment. And when we look at what she would do at the World Championships, I think a lot of it's draw dependent. The first thing she's going to have to do is go up against one of the top 32 players that aren't in the top 32 in the world. Last year it was William O'Connor. She lost 3-0. Is she going to be able to go to Ali Pali and pick up a string of victories? She might get a win or two, maybe. I mean, if she beats the top 32 player of the Pro Tour, then she's got to play one of the top 32 players in the world. I think that's probably a bridge too far. So we're probably talking potentially second round, £15,000. It's not life-changing, it's a nice amount of money, but she'll go win Lakeside if she wants to. Now, when we look at the difference between Lisa Ashton and Fallon Sherrick over the years, that debate who was the best player, the one thing that always came up was the amount of world titles Lisa Ashton had won. Beau could go and do that and now be a two-time women's world champion. The PDC don't offer a world championship at the moment, so that is the recognised world championship. They offer a world match play, but there's no world championship. That is the event that Beau needs to be winning for me. Now, she's got the opportunity, like Luke has, to go. Minimum £7,500, prime time slot, TV, all the bells and whistles. But she's young with a different objective. She's young with a different goal. I would be very, very surprised to see Beau at Ali Pali this year. That's my honest opinion. And this statement also even says that Beau has not yet made her decision and she will need a little bit of time to think things through. It's not just these players, though, that could be affected. There are other players that could be affected by this announcement. When we take a look at their rankings, the WDF, we can see that there's some players up at the top end of this list that could potentially still get a place at Ali Pali. We look at, there's going to be a European qualifier. And with that, you've got Bartons, Klassen, for example, Plaisir, players that could get through that system. You've also got people like Ben Robb, who's doing very well in the rankings, who could potentially get a place at the World Championship. Dan Lauby not too far off on the CDC as well. So there are opportunities here that we could see some of these players come through. I believe Amanda Lawrence as well is playing in the Super League, which holds a place as well for the World Championship. Berry Van Peer currently will get a World Championship spot off the Challenge Tour Order of Merit. So there's going to be more decisions to have to be made for players of this tour, and I think a lot of it is going to come down to the PDC. It is the pinnacle of our sport. Guaranteed money. I think the WDF have made this decision easier than it should have been for players. That's my honest opinion. Let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comment section down below. I'll be there seeing what you guys think of it. But I think the only person that's going to potentially turn this down is Beau Greaves. Everybody else is going to be pulling out of Lakeside. There was 3 places available. There's now 4. I wouldn't be surprised if we're looking at 8 or 9 replacements come Lakeside at the beginning of December. Hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, hit a like, Catch you soon for some more Edgar TV.
Edgar TV.